Hi, everyone, and welcome to the WIM podcast. Women in Influencer Marketing is a first-of-its-kind exclusive networking group made up of inspirational women. This podcast is where we explore influencer marketing and get real about women in business. Find us wherever you download podcasts, and of course, you can always find us at iamwim.com. That's iamwim.com. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in this week. This week, I am going to be going over my top 5 ways to find the perfect influencer for you. Not for anybody else, not for me, but for you, for your specific campaign, your specific project. So before we get into it, I always want to welcome our new listeners to the show. So many of you share our episodes out, which is so freaking cool to see. Some of you, I'm sure, are sharing this episode out with people that you think should hear it for one reason or another. And I'm just so freaking grateful. And I also always want to welcome new listeners. I hope you subscribe. I hope you enjoy the episode and subscribe as like a reaction to that. And I hope you get immersed in everything that's WIM, because this is really just like a sliver of what women in influencer marketing is. So for newbies and OGs, we have a pretty cool update about our show. Did you know that you can now watch it not only on YouTube, but on Spotify? So this is actually a really cool update that I shared in our LinkedIn newsroom last Thursday, where we just talk about influencer marketing news and updates and social media. Spotify is now allowing all podcasters to not only upload the audio, but also upload the video version of their podcast, and you can watch it on Spotify. It's a pretty cool feature. I know that for me, my favorite podcasts, I watch them on TV. These are my true crime shows that I'm obsessed with. And I thought maybe you guys would enjoy watching the camera, on camera version too. The solo episodes, the one today, perhaps not quite so interesting on video, but when we have our interviews and stuff like that, it might be really cool to see the faces of our awesome guests. So definitely check that out. The audio is always available on all the favorite podcast platforms. So the ones that you're tuning into, it's basically available more, which is awesome. So before we get into this episode, I also want to encourage anyone who hasn't explored our membership to just check it out. We offer so many different things to our community, such as our Slack group and our Facebook group. The mentorship is incredible. Our castings are literally getting people working all the time, their clients working and filling those difficult to fill campaigns. Events, we have masterclasses and networking things, and job fair coming up, the job board that we have, of course. There's so much, but I actually think the most compelling reason to join WIM is actually because of the community that's part of it. You're going to meet women experiencing and going through every single thing that you are too. Everyone's just so supportive and wonderful. And I've put in so much energy in cultivating the most incredible community of women who are bomb ass business women. And they are also just those who are so freaking smart and driven and also creative, and they love influencer marketing. And it's the most incredible group of women. I cannot emphasize enough. So it's a really special place. For more information about the membership, all you have to do is just head to the website. It's iamwim.com/join. And you'll learn there's a monthly membership. There's a yearly membership. There's so many different components to it, but I guarantee if you're listening or watching this podcast that you'll probably love the membership. So definitely check it out. Okay. So let's get into the episode, guys. Let's get into it. It's the top 5 ways to find the perfect influencer for you. All right, number 5, look in your own database. So I have preached about similar things on the show before. It is so important to keep track of the influencers that you've used in prior campaigns. You want to make sure that you are using an incredible CRM like Monday.com is one of my personal favorites to track every single data point, or at least like as many as you can. You want to create fields such as like how they were to work with, what their content's about, and a few fields with ratings, such as like from 1 to 5, how likely are you to work with them again? To scale an influencer practice is really all about being efficient and creating systems. So whenever you hire someone new, like an influencer, track their work and categorize them in as many searchable ways as you can. So you want to avoid, this is a hot tip, avoid text fields. And instead put those like ratings or at least like multiple choice fields that people can select from. Because if you just put like an open text field, it's actually going to dissuade your team from keeping up with this most likely. And just multiple choice fields to choose from, like, they were awesome, they were okay, they were not so great, or, in terms of categories like lifestyle influencer, beauty, fitness, like make it easy for them and make it easy for yourself, right? To like keep up with it. This is the first place I always recommend to look for influencers. It's your own internal database. You want to reward those influencers who are great to work with, right? Okay. Number 4, utilize search and discovery platforms. So I've pretty much explored every single influencer discovery platform there is. I've taken demos. I've personally used their products from Creator IQ to Grin to Dovetail to Tagger to Isaiah. There's so many platforms out there, and I've explored dozens of them. My honest takeaway, there's not a one size fits all. So when people just say like, what's your favorite? It's really hard for me to say that because I need to ask you more questions. Like, what are you looking for it for? I mean, there are tools that are more focused on small businesses and some that just have a price tag that like really realistically only a large business could afford. My manager friends tend to look for like list building and campaign management tools. My agency friends usually want to work with like the whole suite, like the whole kit and caboodle. I will say to any of those who immediately discount the power of these search and discovery platforms, here's my 2 cents. The most valuable commodity that you have as a business person is your time. And yes, some of these tools are pricey and like, yes, they're going to cost something, but they definitely shortcut manual searching, and they're huge databases that can be filtered down to find incredibly niche influencers. So here's something that I want to offer to anybody who is either exploring one for the first time or like maybe just want to explore the marketplace generally. I want to save you time. Just check out our website. Go to iamwim.com/tech, TECH. This is where you're going to find demos of some of my personal favorite influencer tech tools all in one place. They're pre-recorded videos from the Best at Influencer Tech events that we've done like 3 times already. I've kept my favorites up there. You can get a sense of them. You can see if they fit your needs. And also, always wanted to like hook you guys up. If you do decide to pull the trigger on one of them, join our membership before then because we offer WIM member exclusive discounts on pretty much all of them. All right, number 3, do your due diligence. I'm like getting mad as I say this because I've noticed that too few people take the time to really truly do a deep dive and a due diligence on the influencers that you are potentially going to pay a lot of money for. If you're hiring an influencer to promote your brand on social, you should be asking for analytics, sure, of course, and we'll get into that in a second, but also vetting them and their credibility and their brand. Okay, let's start with analytics. So while some of the search and discovery platforms that I just mentioned automatically pull in influencer analytics, the real like only way to ensure 100% the accuracy of that information is to ask the influencer for their first party data. You want to see what the platform has tracked, like the social media platform, the Instagrams, TikToks, etc., what they've tracked, and just like verify it with your own eyes. I always recommend asking for data from the last like 14 to 30 days to also just make sure that it's current. You're also going to want to make sure that this is the perfect influencer for you by running a little credibility check on their brand. So here are a couple like outside of the box ideas. For members of WIM, are you asking people in your network or like on our Slack board or our Facebook group if they've worked with these people in the past and like how it went? Have you done like a quick Google search to just see if they've been involved in any like scandals of any sort? So this is such an important step, y'all. And so few people are doing this. They're actually like bypassing this, but it's arguably, like I mentioned, just one of the most important in terms of finding the right influencer that you should be partnering with. Okay. Number two, oh, I love this one. It's really important to me to talk about this. So I'll try to keep it concise, but I feel so passionate about it. Number two is use your gut. Okay, what do I mean by that? So when you start to reach out to influencers, it's the beginning of your working relationship. Are they or their managers responding right away? Do they have like an attitude or something seems off in their initial response? Or do they seem kind and enthusiastic about working with you? Potential at that point. I just feel like women have these incredible gut instincts and we don't use them enough. So I'm encouraging you to tap more into your gut instincts and pull the plug on someone early if something doesn't quite seem right. It's much harder to do that later on once they've like breached their contract or was a nightmare to work with. Save yourself that hassle and trust your gut instincts from the very beginning. Okay. And number one, finally, the best way to find your perfect influencer to work with on your influencer marketing campaign is to come to today's masterclass. Such a dork. So this is a masterclass that my good friend Pam Zapata, who is also the CEO of Society 18, is hosting with us. And the day that this podcast goes live, we happen to be having this incredible masterclass where Pam will walk you through all of her extensive experience sourcing influencers from the agency side, but now also using her experience as on the management side. Her agency also focuses exclusively on creators of color. So if you want a better understanding of how to infuse diversity into your campaigns and how to like find incredible diverse influencers in particular, she's your girl. So as always, masterclasses are included in your membership. So all you have to do is just like put your name down and we'll send you a link right before the event starts, which is at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, this Tuesday, the 26th of April. But if you're a non-member, you can also check it out too. It's only $20. And you know, you should get your company to reimburse you for that. Like you shouldn't have to pay for it. But if you have your own business though, like write that off, please, please. It's a great way to get a sense, a little bit of a taste of our membership and to see what it's like. You'll want to go to iamwim.com/events for all the information. And as with all of our masterclasses, they're also available on demand after we host it live, just in case you have a meeting planned or something comes up last minute. But if you tune in live, I get to say hello. You can ask questions of Pam in real time. It's always a really, 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 really fun experience. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Definitely check out iamwim.com/events for this event and more coming up, like our huge virtual job fair that's coming up where you can hire or get hired by the WIM community. Don't miss that one. Seriously, it's going to be amazing. It's at the beginning of April. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. I can't wait to see you guys next week and have a great rest of your week. If you enjoyed this episode, we gotta have you back. Check out our website for more ways to get involved, including all the information you need about joining our collective. You can check out all the information at iamwim.com. Leave us a review, a rating, but the most important thing that we could ask you to do is to share this podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Tune in next week.